Today we're going to make a refillable spray paint can. So you can make your own colors. You could take ones that are out of pressure and add them into there. Do whatever you want. Sky's the limit. Keep watching. Hey Ginger, can you give me that spray paint over there? Yeah, that works. Right here. Thank you. Good job. Okay, so we have actually like a full can of spray paint. It's actually a blue layout dye. It's spray paint. Anyway, this is completely clogged up. I have a whole video on unclogging these things. This one is completely clogged. This is a weird style. This is an older style. It has a little pin in there. It's completely full of pressure, completely full of everything, but you cannot get it to spray out. I've let it soak for weeks now. So it's time to transfer the fluid over if I actually ever want to use it. So I have an empty can right here that I just barely used up. It actually sprayed really nice. I like the spray pattern, like the nozzle, so this is a good candidate, okay? I like the cans that have this secondary ridge. I do not like the smooth ones like this. No. This, yes. Because we're going to put a valve to refill and fill with pressure right here in the top. This one, you could do that, but you have a weak spot all the way down. So you want this style of can. Okay? All we're going to do is we're going to take a tire valve stem like this, and we're going to burn off the rubber off of the outside so we just have a little bit of a tube. So we're going to take the valve core out, and they have these little tools like this. They come in a bunch of different little styles, and essentially that centerpiece just unscrews out. So you just have a hollow tube all the way through. See? That'll just burn off, and you can just brush it off. So this is what you're left with, but this still isn't good enough. You need to actually take a file and just kind of file it a little bit, and it should just get shinier. If it starts looking white, it's going to be zinc or aluminum coated with the brass, and that's not going to work. It has to be a brass. So now we're going to take this and install it right here in the edge, okay? This is just shy of a 1/4 inch. Shy of 6 millimeter, but we don't want to drill that big a hole. We actually want to drill a way smaller hole. I actually only want to drill about an 1/8 inch hole. So I have an 1/8 inch drill bit, and we're just going to drill it. Most of the pressure is out of this can. There's a little bit of paint in it. Doesn't matter. But it's pretty much empty. I'm going to drill a hole right here with a little bit of pressure in the can. You don't want a ton of pressure. You want it almost empty, because that's going to blow any chips that go in. It's going to blow them out. There we go. Any chips that would have fallen inside are on the outside. Now I'm going to take some sandpaper and scuff up that area. Here I'm just going to use a tool, but now I'm going to take a tapered nail punch. I'm going to slowly drive it into this hole to make it the size of this. And the reason I'm doing that is I want a flared in surface for this to mount to. So I'm just going to take my punch. It doesn't take much force at all. Really close. It's best if we get a tight fit. There we go. That will go in now. Now we can clean out the can if we want. So I'll just pour some pour a little bit of acetone in there. We'll shake it up and just dump out any excess so we can get the old color out. Carburetor cleaner just happens to be pretty much acetone. So I'll just spray some, shake that up and dump out any of this old black paint. You get the idea. So this can is steel. We want to solder to steel, so we have to use acid flux, which is plumbing flux. Not electrical flux, plumbing flux. So I'm going to put this acid flux all the way around this area, and we're going to tin the area. So this is just 50-50 electrical solder. We're using plumbing flux, electrical solder, because it's stronger. Anyway, you can do this with a torch. You can do this with a soldering iron. Either way, done it, works both ways. We don't want to melt. There's a little rubber seal right here when they cap this on and our main valve. We don't want to melt that stuff. So I take water. This is just water. And I just pour this into the top right here. This video right here, I did this on just aerosol cans years ago. It's probably one of my most copied video out there. But we're going to take this. Soldering iron's hot. As hot as possible. The solder needs to flow out. If it doesn't flow out like this, you're doing something wrong. This is it. It needs to flow out nice like that. We're going to take this. We're going to sand this. So we've got nice, clean, bare brass on there as well. So now we're going to bond the brass to the steel. So we'll just run this on my flux right here. And we can just solder. Let's set this here for a second. Directly on this for a second. Just to make sure. Yeah. See, it's flowing out nice on here. So I'm just going to get this coated all the way around. Before it gets too hot to hold. It's getting there. It's getting too hot to hold. Okay. I've got this tinned even all the way up around the edge because that's where it's going to sit. So I'm going to heat up both surfaces kind of. Put some heat, see if we can get that in yet. I probably made it a little too large. This is where the torch makes it easier because it just heats up everything. We're just going to keep wiggling this in while melting the solder. There we go. I'm going to leave a little bit protruding. And you see this gap all the way around. I could push it in further, but I kind of want to make what I would call almost like a weld bead around there. So I'm just going to come in here and just flow out the solder and give myself an even bigger ledge. Just to make sure I got a good bond and good hold and good seal. No, you cannot do this with JB Weld. The 3000 PSI thing you see on the JB Weld bottles is lap shear, which is two pieces, 1 inch overlapping, pushed together and pulled apart like that. That isn't this. You cannot use epoxy. It is not strong enough. I want as much surface area as possible covered with solder. So now I have probably close to 1/4 of an inch between the top right here ledge and inside of bonded solder, and almost 1/4 of an inch out on all sides. And of course I did all of this without the valve core inside. So the can is completely open now. Okay, how to fill it now. I actually have the core still out. We're going to take a small straw that fits over the valve core. And it's threaded, so it kind of really bites and screws on. Small funnel is going to come up to the top. There's a straw that attaches to the center right here, and that comes up to here. So we're going to hold this upside down, and you depress the spray while you fill it, and that burps out any air, and then you can just dump whatever paint you want into here. I'll show you doing this one. This one is completely full. We're going to, I guess I'm going to bleed off the pressure first. Generally, to open up cans, I nip the edge. So I just got it nipped. I'll let the pressure come out. It's still bubbling because the propellant is absorbed into the material. So we're going to take this, make sure we're attached good, press down, dump in. Might have to let that settle so all the propellant gets out of the paint. It's gonna fight me. It's going in. It's not a fast process. And then also having the straw on the side right here while you do this lets you know the level that you have inside. So when it's this full, you'll see it. Okay, that took about 2 minutes. I wasn't even thinking that there's a bunch of solidified stuff, and that's why this can originally clogged. You can kind of see it on there. So luckily I didn't really put any of that in. But take that. I flipped it over. Should be able to take this off now. It is not a clean job doing this spray paint. We'll take our valve core, reinstall that, pressurize it with compressed air, and we'll be done from there. Now, I do want to say, compressed air is going to, you're going to have to refill it for the whole can. So this can is, it's probably up to about here or so. So if I put in, let's say 60 psi down to here, it's going to, once the paint gets down to here, it's actually only going to be about 30 psi, so it's going to be spraying half as much. But then if I put 60 psi in again, that'll probably finish me off for the whole can. So you have to refill it more than once, and that's one of the reasons they don't put air inside of these cans. They use things like butane mixed with propane, freon, carbon dioxide. All those turn into a liquid under pressure, and they actually mix with the paint, and so you can fit way more in there. I'm not going to get into that, but let's pressurize this, see how it sprays. Filler, just like we're filling a tire, and let's pump it up to I think it's not the easiest thing to do, because you let some out when you let it off. There we go. It should be about 60 to 60-ish right there. Yeah, it feels nice and firm. I don't hear any leaks. Shake it up. I don't like that pattern. Let's get a different nozzle. Was spraying a better pattern before. Stuff's really thin. Let's just spraying out as a stream. Let me find a nozzle that'll spray better. Yeah. Okay, spray pattern. So I did this years ago, but I did it with real spray paint. This stuff is actually thinner than regular spray paint, and I got better results. Still not fantastic, but I actually tried to smash the hole a little bit to make it and kind of mess up my spray pattern, but I can put a different nozzle on. Not a huge deal. Anyway, I did wanted to say why I'm not getting a beautiful spray pattern, and one of that is because I don't have a propellant that's absorbed into the paint. When you have the propellant absorbed into the paint, when the paint escapes with the propellant, it atomizes it. It essentially blows up and creates a nice fan pattern. If you wanted a I'm just running into the issue with, I have a bad nozzle right now, not a fantastic spray nozzle. If you wanted a better, more spray paint like thing, I don't really care that much for this. I would use something like this. This is probably, I mean, there's better on the market, but this is probably the best thing you're going to find right now, like off the shelf. This is a Rust-Oleum can, where I could you can reduce that down to a number 2, which is smaller than standard. I think 3, you just rotate it. 3 is regular, and then you can do a fan pattern. And I think 1 is super heavy. It says right there. That would probably give you a better spray pattern versus just a typical nozzle. This can originally had one of these. These are old school. Come on, focus. And these actually have a really small hole on them because they try to spread. You rotate that little thing and it fans up or down. But this is a completely different style can and won't fit on that. So right now I have way too large of orifice in the middle. I'll have to keep looking for the thinness of the paint that I'm spraying, essentially. How many spray paint cans? There's too many, guys. Huh? How many? I think that's about 200. Oh yeah, there's some down there. Oh, And there's probably another 200 in here. That one's full. That's all full. Huh, how many's too many, guys? Get it for me. Or spray paint. Either one. Where are you taking it? Can I have it? Put it in my hand. Ugh. I can't see through the phone what I'm grabbing. Is half the problem. Give me the other one. Yeah, give me the other one. That works. Any one of them. There's a million up there. Give me one. Yeah. Oh, you found the dog treats. Okay, well, there you go. You treated yourself. Now get that for me. Go ahead. Give me a different one. Come on. Give me that one right there. No, the other one. No, the other one. Yeah, that one. Come on. Oh, bring it here. Come on. Bring it here. Put it in my hand. I'm not going to look through the phone. There we go. I'm not looking through the phone. I can grab it. Thanks. You already got your treats. Let's go inside. Ready? Let's go.